Welcome back to Roaming with Restless Women. Today I have Patti Stewart. Patti is the ultimate powerhouse of feminine strength and self-defense. She's the founder and CEO of Defense and Heals, a mother of two, former Mrs. Nevada, model, public speaker, and women's safety advocate. Patti has spent over 20 years empowering women to be confident, strong, and safe. An internationally certified self-defense instructor, she has trained thousands of women worldwide, and she has worked as a bodyguard for celebrities, honing her expertise in threat management and personal protection. Known for her fun, relatable personality, Patti blends humor and practicality into her teachings, making safety approachable and empowering. Her mission is simple: help women live life on their own terms while taking control of their safety. Whether teaching self defense techniques or boosting confidence, Patti inspires women everywhere to embrace strength, independence, and empowerment, one woman at a time. Welcome, Patti.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you. You're my first self-defense instructor. I'm just so thrilled to have
Sweet.
you.
Yay.
Yay. I just want to know, obviously, my very first question is, how did you get into self-defense? Were you a police officer? I mean, how did all this start for you?
So I have worked for multiple police departments, but that was not like what I did in those realms at all. For me, it was, taking those classes. I had a black belt as a kid, but like everybody gets one of those if you stick around long enough. So I don't count any of that either. It was one of the police departments I was working at. I was doing my internship there, and they had a women's self defense class. And they're like, "Hey, you're a chick. You should come help us teach." Yeah, let's do it. And it was an aggressive type A male instructing the class, and I shut down. And it was
Oh,
one of those like, if I'm shutting down and I'm a type A and one of the instructors, everyone else has to have shut down a long time ago.
oh my
So once I
goodness.
got my wits together, I kind of took over the class and I loved it. I learned that I love teaching. And it was one of those like when you teach somebody something and they're like, oh, I can't do it, I can't do it. And then they figure it out and they get that fire in their eyes. That's my
Yeah.
high. That is what keeps me going on the bad days. And so ever since then, I kind of started teaching and creating my mission and my business and everything. So then that way I can empower all these women in a fun, feminine way. We're doing it in heels. We're doing it with our purses, with our dresses on. We are not making it that scary, oh my gosh, like you don't know what's going to happen. Like, yeah, I'm going to
Uh-huh.
tell you the scary stats, but we're going to have fun doing it. I'm going to make a joke of everything because this is not an easy topic. And we're going to
No.
have fun doing it.
So do you do your classes online or do you do them locally or or a mixture?
So I have a few things online. I don't have like a full class online because I'm very much like, I need to see this. I need to show you
Yeah.
how to tweak your body when it's not working properly. Or if something feels off and it's like a Zoom, I can't always help you. So I like the in
Yeah.
classes. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
in Vegas and I have local classes here all the time. But I also travel. So I have national and international classes. So we get to do a little bit of everything, but then you're still learning it. And like I said, mostly hands on because that's what you need to know how to do.
Yeah. Tell me if you have personally been attacked and have had to use some of your techniques.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So the statistics against women, I fall in all of those categories. But
Oh,
they're not my mission. They are not my driving force. It is, excuse my French, shit happened and life went on. And, I got my therapy. I still go to therapy. But it's
yes.
my goal is I don't want anyone else to be a victim. The survivors are amazing humans in life, and let's make sure there's less of them in life.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. So, when you start your classes, what is your main message just to kind of break the ice and get people going?
Definitely. So, we're going to do a little intro because we need to learn each other's names. But then I actually start at the scariest position. And the
Oh,
reason I do this is because psychologically, if you can work through this, I can teach you anything in the world. But
okay.
we need to start there.
And what's
It's
the scariest position?
a great position.
Yeah.
it's also the number one weapon against women.
Yeah.
So we break it down in a fun way and multiple steps. Yes, it looks super cool on my TikToks because we do it so fast. It takes us an hour and a half to learn that very first move, because everything builds upon that move as well. But I'm also
Right.
doing, we're talking it out as we're going through everything. If anybody gets triggered, we're talking it out. We're slowing everything down to make sure you learn it properly and have fun doing it.
Yeah. Wow. It's hard for me to imagine being in that situation and being able to be in that situation, but also having fun while doing it, you
Yes,
know?
yes, and that's just it. Is like everyone's like, oh, I don't know what to do. We're going to make light of it. We're talking it all out. We're breaking it down. We're making friends in the group classes so that we can all build each other up one baby step,
Uh-huh.
because it is scary, and we don't
Yeah.
want that scarednicity in there to stop you from being able to protect yourself. I want to teach you how to work through it.
Got it. And so how much of these positions, I mean, immediately when I think self-defense, I think it's having power or leverage or something physical.
Right.
How much time do you spend though on the mental that's
Oh yeah.
going on at the same time?
Well, I'm talking both sides. We're doing the hands on stuff while I'm explaining the psychology of it. I also went to school to be a counselor and learned I don't like being a counselor. So I do
Yeah.
know all of those tools and therapeutic techniques.
Uh-huh.
So I bring those in as well. Now, I tell them all I'm not a therapist, I am not a counselor, I'm just here to teach you self defense. But
Right.
if you are triggered, I know how to help you unless you need more help at the time. So we're going through all of that, and it's that hour and a half that we're spending on that very first move. The reason being is I'm talking you through it. I'm explaining the psychology of it. I'm explaining the criminology of it. I'm explaining the kinesiology of it, so that you're learning all the aspects of why this works and how it works, along with paying attention. Because
Yeah.
90% of crimes can be stopped ahead of time by paying attention.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Probably the biggest self-defense is just not to get in a situation to begin
100%.
with.
Yes. And
Be
I teach that
smart.
too. And I
Yeah,
say it
be
over and
smart.
over.
Yeah. Well, it's even, I think one of the things that I worry the most about now that I'm of an age, is someone looking at me and thinking, old, gray-headed woman, she's not going to fight. She's not going to, and let me just tell you, that is not the case. The one time I was ever approached, I was with a male colleague of mine, and I had an umbrella, a long umbrella in my hand. And I just whipped the
Weapon.
end of that umbrella up right underneath that guy's face. And I said, "Don't make me go Xena on you."
Xena Warrior Princess for the win.
Yes, exactly. While my male colleague was standing there not knowing what to do. And I was like, I call it going into mom mode.
Oh, yeah.
When you get in that cry, if it's your kid sitting there,
Uh-huh.
oh,
Mama
don't
Bear's coming out.
even.
Oh, yeah.
Mama Bear,
100%.
totally. So tell me about some of the realizations that you've watched women go through when they're in your class. What kinds of things, when are those lights going off? Outside of the physical move, when they get the physical move, I'm sure that that's amazing. But what else are they learning from you and from each other?
Definitely. So in that, we're doing a lot of the confidence building.
Uh-huh.
I have some women who are recent survivors in the classes.
Oh,
And then I have
yeah.
women who are long term survivors. I have women who don't realize situations that they're currently living in are volatile, especially domestic violence. We have a lot of women who are like, oh, my friends told me to sign up for this class. I don't know why I'm here. And then we're explaining things to them, and they're like, holy crap, I'm living that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And oh my goodness, I had this one gal. She took my class a couple years ago, and then called me out of the blue one day. And she was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that first class I took of you, I hated it." And I was like, "Oh, thanks. I love this phone call
Yeah.
so far." And she's like, "No, no, no. Here's the reason." She was like, "You made me realize I was in a domestic violence relationship and I wasn't ready to leave, which is
Mm.
normal. You, depending on which study you read, it's 9 or 12 times of leaving before you actually leave." And she's like, "So I wasn't ready." And then once I got ready, she was like, "Now you're in my head." And when the next thing happened, she was like, "I remember every step you told me to take. And I got out of that situation and I went to the place that you told me to go to. And I was mad at you because you were right this whole time and I didn't listen to you years ago." And she called me to tell me
Wow.
that, everything I taught her worked. She just wasn't ready. And then once she was ready, she was like, "I had that power in me and I had so much confidence." And she was like, "And I knew that if I did this, it would do this. And if I did this, it would do this." And she was like, "And resources." Because a lot of people will teach you and then they're like, "Okay, goodbye." And she was like, "No, like you continue to send out resources. You continue to tell people about resources. And that's the hardest part of all, because in those relationships, they strip you of your resources and your
Mm.
confidence and your ability to almost do anything, because that's that power control dynamic. If they control you, you will stick around longer and deal with it longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the recent phone calls I got, and I was like, "Oh, it works. I'm doing the Lord's work properly."
You're doing great. You are doing great. You're doing your thing in the world, your purpose. I love it. Absolutely.
100%.
Well, and I'm sure that in Vegas, given the nature of the industry there with a lot of entertainment and waitresses and the all of the jobs that would expose women
Oh yeah.
to being objectified or to being, put in a position late night, getting out of work at 3 a.m. or whatever,
Oh yes.
you're in the right place, apparently.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Because you're right. Like, I mean, the Vegas model for many years was what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
yeah,
And people took that to heart. So I mean, we definitely
yeah.
have crime out here. I mean, everywhere has crime.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. But when you're in a position where you're constantly objectified and then you have to go home and go back to your real life, you also have to know how to turn that off and how to live a
Yeah,
normal life, but also how not to freak out when you are objectified at your job.
right.
That is some mindset training right there for sure.
That's for sure. Ugh. I don't know that I'd want to be in a job that I got objectified in, but if I ever was, it would be nice to know how to turn that off.
Yeah, yeah, and coaching and therapy and how to do it, because you have to learn how to
Yeah,
compartmentalize this aspect of your life, but know that anything you compartmentalize is going to explode. You're putting it in a box, so if you
right.
don't work through it, you're going to be one of those people that just bottle things up, and then when it comes out, it's going to be a flood of everything.
Oh, for sure. So talk to me about the criminality. You mentioned that you teach the criminality. So do you actually explain some of what might be going through the head of the attacker?
Do so you had mentioned that you're worried because you think that you would be the easy target.
Yeah.
So they studied this with criminals. They did a research study and they interviewed like all the top ones, and they basically put it down and they were like, "What are you looking for?" And in this study, they found that a criminal can watch and figure out within 7 seconds if you are his target or not.
Mm.
Uh, they are looking for somebody who is not paying attention, has no idea what's going on around them. They're looking
Hmm.
for somebody who is an easy target. They don't want the person that fights back. That is too much work. They're going for
Mm.
easy. And then it's random things like, are you a woman alone or are you with a man? Are you in a group? Because a group will fight back. A
Oh,
singular
yeah.
person that generally won't. And so they're looking for that kind of stuff. Or even things like a ponytail, which is our go-to hairstyles.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Just that's easy to grab.
100%. But those are the types of things that criminals are looking for. So
What
just like
about a woman with a baby?
babies cry, babies make noise, people pay attention to babies. So that's not as high on the list as most people think. You'd think, oh, it's vulnerable. That's an easy one. No, babies are a lot of noise, and people like
Okay.
babies.
Well,
So now,
that puts my heart at ease, like, because I have a grandson, and you know I worry about my daughter. When she's trying to put him in the car seat, she has to give him her attention. She can't
right.
be, looking around. So I worry
Well,
about
you
that one,
still
but I'm
want
glad
to
you
pay
say
attention.
that. Oh,
Yeah, definitely
yeah.
still paying attention because we've definitely all seen, the people where they're carjacking a car while a mom's putting a kid in, not realizing there's a kid in the car. And
I
the criminals
know.
will say that, be like, no, I just saw her leave her front door open and I went and took the car. I didn't know there was a kid in there. What am
Oh
I going to do
my
with this kid
God.
now? Yes. So pay attention still as you're putting the baby in the car. I love weapons. I don't care if it's a pen in your hand or if you have a stun gun or a gun, like whatever you like, just carry it and keep it in your hand. So if something does happen, you're ready to use that at any moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Nails.
Nails are great.
Fingernails.
They are. You can
I
catch some
used to
DNA with
have
some
long
fingernails.
ones. I did it on purpose, but no, I don't.
Yeah, keep something with you. Like I said, even a metal pen, 6 pounds in the trachea is all it takes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what other smart tips do you have before we move on to my questions that I ask?
My main thing is pay attention.
Yeah.
Like I said, 90% of crimes can be stopped if you're paying attention. So keep your head on a bobble. So everybody remembers bobbleheads, but side to side. So you're paying attention to what's going on because the criminal does not want somebody paying attention. Also, you're going to
Yeah.
identify him before he identifies you if you're paying attention.
Yes. You're going to
So
know
exactly. Yeah.
where people are in your space.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you
Yep.
have to widen your space.
And pay attention to those gut instincts. Like people
Mm.
do, women don't realize how powerful and truthful our gut instinct is. However, most people have been trained at a young age to not listen to their gut instinct. We're taught when we're
Mm.
younger, I said, hug that uncle that makes you feel uncomfortable. I don't care if you don't want to kiss your grandparents. I said, kiss them. Oh, boys are mean because they like you.
Oh,
We're taught
that's
this.
not.
No,
Yeah.
we are taught this at a super young age. Girls are quiet. Girls are polite. Girls don't argue. Girls just deal with it. We're taught this. And so we think growing up, that's normal. No, that is grooming behavior. And then we're not listening to our gut instinct anymore because we were told as children
Mm.
to just deal with it. So as we grow up, we think that's normal behavior, and it's not. So we need to retrain our gut instinct now so then you can understand and listen to those things. And it's simple, like that weird feeling. Like we've all had that weird feeling and left something, and then something happens. That's your gut talking to you. It's picking up on things you are not picking up on.
Oh,
So we need
yeah.
to train ourselves to listen to that. Go grab The Gift of Fear by Gavin DeBecker. Freaking phenomenal book. And it talks about the gut instinct and how to retrain it. Because for women, it's more than 90% once you've retrained it.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm very intuitive, so I almost always go with my gut, which has
Good.
gotten me into trouble a couple
Well,
times,
of
but
course. That's just life. Yeah. Well, you do. You
exactly.
want to listen to it. It'll help you with every aspect of life, but
Hmm.
retrain it and listen to it and understand it and know what it means.
Yeah. Well, I have three questions that I ask at the end of every episode, but before we get to that, tell me, how can people get a hold of you and access your services?
Definitely. Defenseandheals.com. Same thing, all
All right.
socials, defense and heals.
I love it. Well, that's easy enough. We'll make
Yes.
sure to put that in the show notes. Okay, here's my first question, and thank you for all of your wisdom so far, but you're going to have a chance to give us some more.
Okay.
So, if you could close your eyes and in your mind's eye, describe what you see when I say wise woman.
A powerful woman in a flowy dress
Why flowy dress?
because it's fun, it's flirty. You can do the spins, but I can still protect myself in
There you go. I love it. I
it.
love it. Okay, next question. Where do you like to roam?
Oh, I am an outdoors girl. I
Mm-hmm.
want to go somewhere with no cell service
Mm-hmm.
and a book,
Mm-hmm.
preferably with a hammock. And I want to read the book and I want to hear nature. And I want to check out in an environment where I am grounded and comfortable and just living my best life.
Yes, relaxing and safety.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. Okay, here's my final question. What makes you restless, but in a good way?
Ooh, I am always learning. I love to learn. But every time I learn about something, I'm taking on new information, new projects, new experiences to the point where I keep telling myself I need to slow down. However, I just learned something new and I'm so excited and I want to dive in and I want to give 100%, but I'm already doing that with like five other things.
Oh, yeah.
And then the kids are taking on new things and now I have to fully develop or engulf myself in their projects because those are my babies, but then I
Yeah.
still have my own. And then I will get overwhelmed. And so I have learned that I have to schedule a down day, and it is I
Yes.
book absolutely nothing. This is my cooking, cleaning, prepping day. And as long as I have my down day where I do absolutely nothing, is what I put it in my book is, um, then I can ground myself and center myself and prepare myself for the crazy week ahead because I'm going to take on more and learn more and do more. And it's a vicious cycle. I see it, I know it, but I have planned it properly so that I don't get to the part where I completely shut down.
Perfect. Yes. I 100% agree with you. My Sunday is my down day. It is my get everything done that I haven't, that just has these little threads of things that if I get them done, I feel better. I feel more
100%.
prepared. Wonderful. So, folks, this was Patti Stewart. You need to go and take a look at her website and obviously go and check out her book. The same title, Defense and Heals. So make sure you go and take a look at that. And thank you for your wisdom today, Patti.
Thank you so much for having me.
Julie Noonan here. Thank you so much for listening to Roaming with Restless Women. If you're a successful senior woman leader who would like to be on this program, please visit podcast.intuitivewisdomcoach.com. If you enjoyed this interview, please share this episode on social media and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Your thumbs ups and reviews go a long way.